So finally, we got some brand new gameplay from Anthem at PAX West. You're seeing it right now, but also they announced a new playable demo, which you guys will be able to get your hands on here February 1st. I'm going to talk about that, but there are requirements to get this demo. We're also going to talk about betas, the Storm and Interceptor Javelins. We finally saw gameplay of that and got more details through blog posts. And we're going to talk about NPCs and Fort Tarsis and how you can actually have consequences dependent on your choices in the story, which is really cool. So let's dive in. Welcome everyone to Open World Games. Let's do this. Let's dive straight into, first of all, those details about this playable demo. When can you finally get your hands on Anthem? So this is what the blog post had to say. It says, we've rolled out a ton of news about Anthem, but there's one question we keep hearing that we haven't been able to answer. When is the demo? Well, friends, now we can answer that question. The public pre-launch demo will start on February 1st. But again, there are those requirements, so these are them. So it says, how can I play the Anthem demo? So it's quite simple. You either pre-order now or join Origin Access or EA Access. Now I'm going to throw links in the description below to the blog post and how you pre-order. It goes on to say, if you've already pre-ordered or joined, you're all set. Just set your calendars for February 1st, clear out your schedule, and prepare to discover the world of Anthem. One important note, if your Origin Access or EA Access membership is not active at the time of the demo, you won't be able to play the demo, so make sure your membership is current when we get close to the start of the demo. End quote. So there you guys have it. There's going to be a full-blown demo. It's going to be playable on February 1st, but also you got to remember they did confirm this at PAX West. There will be betas ahead of this February 1st demo, believe it or not. They have yet to give those dates, and they will be talking about that down the road, but at least they gave us this demo also ahead of the game. Usually they don't do demos. Usually it's just betas, and that's basically their demo. So it's very interesting to see that they're doing all of these different phases up till launch. Sounds like they really want to nail this game down. I'm crossing my fingers. It's good. We really need a good co-op PvE experience. We have enough PvP games this fall especially, and I would love it if Fallout 76 was huge and then Anthem was big. We need these type of games. I would love it. So let's also talk a little bit more about playing the full game early. So yeah, we already know about the demos. We already know we will be getting betas. But what about playing this full game early? So it goes on to say this. Anthem launches February 22nd, 2019 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Early access begins on February 15th for Origin Access and EA Access members. So if you have Origin Access or EA Access, you can play the game early on February 15th. Now, keep in mind, I think that's going to be limited to 9 hours or something like that. That's usually how they do it. But in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, EA Access has been worth it. I have a library of games that I can try out that, I would never buy. So that's really cool, in my opinion. There's all these games on there that they've added, and they've added games from other developers and publishers too. Alright, so also I wanted to showcase some of these new screenshots if I didn't already. I don't think I did. So, we've got some brand new NPCs that were shown off at PAX West. And then, of course, Fort Tarsis right here. Absolutely stunning. That is so freaking cool. It really does remind me a little bit of Dragon Age in there. Definitely. But yeah, you can see how impressive this Frostbite engine is. I cannot wait to get into Fort Tarsis for sure. So you're probably wondering about those Storm and Interceptor details. Let's go straight into that, shall we? So I'm going to include the articles in the description below, but I'm going to read them off right now for you if you just want to sit there and enjoy some of the gameplay on display right now. So it says this about the Interceptor Javelin, which they did show some cool snippets and teases in this new gameplay that you're seeing here. So it says, as the smallest and sleekest of the Javelins, the Interceptor is favored by long-range scouts and anarchists performing field research. But while it may not be the mightiest javelin in your arsenal, its agility and evasion are unmatched, and it has more than enough power to bring the fight to anyone foolish enough to underestimate it. Now, it says this, it's always 2 steps ahead. The Interceptor Javelin might not have the imposing silhouette of the Colossus, but it still knows how to pack a punch. The Interceptor excels at getting in close to inflict damage and weaken its enemies, then dashing away before they can react. With powerful blades and a full suite of devastating abilities, the Interceptor is both incredibly self-reliant and an excellent supporting squad mate. Now, it says note, as the game is still in development, all game features may be subject to change, and there will be more to share. We'll update you as necessary. So let's get into the features here. It says sit tight, freelancers. It's going to be fast and furious. So with its lightning agility and powerful abilities, the Interceptor is able to turn overwhelming odds into certain victory. The Interceptor makes up for its scant armor as a true terror on the battlefield and an excellent addition to your Javelin arsenal. Learn more in our suit guidelines for details as we suit up to fulfill the call of the freelancers in Anthem. I'm going to include again those links in the description below. There's all sorts of details about the Ranger and of course Colossus, and you can't forget the Storm Javelin, which we're going to be talking about in just a moment. So it sounds like the Interceptor is basically all out guerrilla warfare, up close and personal, and I personally think that might be my gameplay style. I still don't know exactly what will be my gameplay style, but we also did get to see a little bit from the Storm Javelin as well in this gameplay that you are seeing here, which, yeah, you're seeing the lightning strike right there. That got my attention, so now I'm really conflicted on what I want to do here, what Javelin I want to play with. Of course, you can play and goof around with all the Javelins in time, even under one account, and have multiple accounts even as you play this game. But let's see what the Storm Javelin is all about. So it says this: the world of Anthem is dangerous, and safety outside of the walls of Fort Tarsus requires the use of powerful Javelin exosuits. The Storm Javelin is one of the exosuits you'll unlock as you delve deep into the mysteries, of this unpredictable world. And to stop the looming threat of the Dominion, you'll need to master every one of your Javelin's abilities. Now it says, the sound of thunder. The Storm Javelin first arrived in Fort Tarsus as a rumor developed by the Dominion in the northern home of Stralhan. The Storm uses a powerful technology known as SILS to boost the latent kinetic, I guess you would say, powers of its pilot. My bad, guys. The result is a Javelin that can float effortlessly above the ground and unleash the raw energy of the Anthem. Only through painstaking Arcanist research has anyone outside the Dominion had a chance to wield the Storm's awesome potential. And while the Storm can channel unbelievable amounts of elemental force, it has little in the way of defensive capabilities and requires an expert pilot to stay above the fight and dish out damage from a safe distance. So it sounds like this type of Javelin is maybe long distance and more of a support role, and also might be more for hardcore experienced players. So it's likely that you would want to try out this Javelin perhaps after you really kind of understand the basics of the game by playing with the Ranger, because I know you start out with the Ranger. They start you out with a jack-of-all-trades Javelin there. Now they go on to describe the features of the Javelin, but warn, the game is still in development. A lot of this stuff may change by the time the game comes out. So it says the Javelin is equipped with hover, elemental casting, lightning storm, elemental storm, and teleportation. It goes on to say about hover, by manipulating kinetic energy, the Storm is able to maintain a low hover and remain mobile and combat effective while in midair. This allows the pilot to keep distance from their enemies and keep a clear vantage point over the entire battle. Now, in terms of elemental casting, it says the SILS, which are built into the Storm, can tap into the Anthem to release raw elemental energy for use as a weapon. Now, it describes the lightning storm as follows. With the right application of elemental force, the storm can render an area mortally dangerous to anyone unlucky enough to be caught in it. Now, it says this about elemental storm ability. It says, as its ultimate ability, so this is its ultimate ability they have to kind of build up. The storm calls down a monstrous amount of energy to decimate a targeted area. It is considered polite to warn teammates before performing this ability. Interesting. So, we do know that I don't think there's friendly fire in this game. So, it's interesting that they mentioned that it's that you need to warn your teammates. Of course, that could just be a joke. It also mentions teleportation, that you will be able to maneuver in the air, moving through space instantly to arrive at a new position nearby, evading enemies. So you basically bounce around the battlefield. Again, guerrilla warfare is really important. Now, it goes on to say, with its elemental power and minimal armor, the Storm has a reputation for being a tumultuous javelin, I guess it says, that can spell disaster for even experienced pilots. But ask anyone who survived a fight with one and they'll tell you that there's no doubting the strength of the Storm. Whether the Storm suits your style as a pilot, your needs for a particular mission, or your mood for that day, it's a great addition to your arsenal of javelins. Now, it tells in the article that you can learn more about all the javelins by following the links in the description below. I will include those there for you guys, so check that out. So yeah, we did also get to see those new NPCs on display at PAX West, and they basically spoke about how you'll be able to go into your story through Fort Tarsis, interact with these NPCs, have multiple choices and stuff like that, and then be able to influence the story in that way, which I always thought was really cool to see. So there's multiple dialogue choices in the game, and you'll be able to influence the story in that way and build relationships. They kind of did hint that it's possible to have romance in Fort Tarsis, but they didn't go on to say anything more than that. They call it more relationships than anything else. So don't think it's going to be full-blown romance like we saw in Mass Effect, that franchise. So that, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm not here for that for Anthem. I'm here for the loot, man. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned here to Open World Games for more Open World Gaming news, and, of course, Anthem news and Open World Gaming goodness. I've been covering Anthem. Fallout 76 is a big one for me. Of course, we're in September, so that means, yes, we're going to be getting Spider-Man on PS4, and then also you can't forget about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So a lot of good games coming up here as we enter fall. But guys, look forward to more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, and soon enough in Fort Tarsis. See you guys around.